Hi everyone, welcome to our day 7 or the end of the week for our deliberate creation experience. So here we are, it's me, Siwing, and Deb. So welcome you all to this little video. I like this idea to do something, record something, a nice message for all the people participated so we can round up the energy and a little bit of closure, and we have a few things to share with you as well. Right, Deb?
Exactly, Siwing. Look, the last 7 days of us working with deliberate creation for our January experience has been fantastic for me, and it's been fantastic also for the people that I've been connecting with and the interactions we've seen on the Facebook page. All I can say is thumbs up, fantastic manifestation going on. So I can only see that us setting up for a wonderful 2016.
Yeah, one thing, I don't know when I mentioned it. Did I mention it in the mail out? But the I have been doing this type of exercise for a couple of years, but this year particularly, before I started, I looked at my 2015 list. I was amazed because I think I put in like 10 or 15 items, and I think they were pretty ambitious stuff. So I thought, well, I'm doing these things, so let's see what happens. But I was amazed that I haven't looked at it for the last few months. I think, like from time to time, I looked at it. And I think it's nice. But then I didn't look at it the last few months, and then because we're preparing for this, so I dig it up, and almost everything was a big tick. The thing is that I think we have to allow the university to figure out the best plan for us because, sometimes we think this is what we want, but actually something else happened is even better. So there's that. And also there are things like, for example, I literally put, I want to be married. It's a big one, right, to the universe. But then, and we got engaged last year, and then in fact we're getting married in a few weeks. So I think it is happening. So I didn't call it a tick. It's still like one of the only 2 items that didn't occur exactly what I was on my list manifested. But I think it's actually still happening very well.
Definitely. And the thing is too for me with deliberate creation is that we're doing it sometimes unconsciously. So I think the actual gratitude experience we had now was to bring it into our awareness how we can create. But don't forget that we are consciously creating every single moment of our thought process. But it's very much becoming aware of, well, what are you creating? Are you creating what you want to create, or are you creating about what you don't want to have? And I think a lot of times we can fall into the trap of creating what we don't want to have because we keep on our vibration and our thoughts in that process. So hopefully over the last 7 days, everyone's had an opportunity to at least see how that works, and be it a small thing like our beautiful flowers or your wonderful shoes, or for us to actually be mindful that we actually are very much co-creating what is coming into our existence.
Yeah, I think some of the games are super fun. Actually, this one I don't know what I share with the people on the event page, but your previous time when you play the yellow car, you even get a DHL truck to just show you, here you go, yellow it is. Do you want to talk about that?
That story was the first time I'd actually heard of the E Square book by Pam Grout, and I knew that we were doing this, so I thought I'd better sort of read her book. And she said to pick a particular colour. I think in the book it's a beige car, which we don't have a lot here in Australia, but I thought, you know what, I don't normally see a lot of yellow cars, and so I thought I'm going to get this game. I'm going to choose to look for yellow cars. And then I got in the car and I drove from my home to a meeting, and I saw 3, which to me was a big surprise because up until then I didn't even think I actually had yellow cars in my existence. But what blew me away the most was when I drove home, I saw another 9. So that was 12 cars in the space of one trip home. But the funny thing is what you alluded to was just as I was getting amazed about the 12 cars, it was like the universe wanted to give one final kick. I got to the roundabout on the way here, and a DHL truck came through, a big, yellow, red truck. I have to say, I don't know how to turn that switch button off now because I keep seeing yellow cars. So for the last 2.5 weeks, there's a lot of yellow cars on the road, so maybe I need to pick a different colour.
So, I don't know whether yellow is the color, but I also want to share the funny thing that, so for me, for this week, the game, when we play the game, I picked the yellow top or yellow clothes. So, obviously, I was wearing yellow that day, that's why I picked it. And then I went in the office, 2 of my colleagues was, wearing yellow, and that was pretty cool. And I went out for lunch, and we're just thinking about, I haven't had many people. Well, I didn't see many people, but I haven't had many success. And as soon as I had that thought, I see this car pull up, and there's this guy in yellow top just driving and looked at me. And I was like, oh, wow, that's pretty spooky. Then I was about to go to the gym. I just grabbed my gear, my pack, and then went to the gym. I opened the bag, get changed. It was a yellow top to wear, and because I have so many of these gear packs, I don't really look at what I got. I just take it to the gym. So I was like, this is like, that bag of clothes were packed the week before, even before we started the game, right? So it's pretty incredible. But what happened was I got so into it. So in the afternoon, I was like, oh, let me just look everywhere. Where's the yellow top? Then I saw nothing.
Yes. And I think that when you're looking at creation, sometimes that desperation energy, we may not be aware of it, but it's getting that fine tune, but being present and being aware, but then not being holding on so tight or being desperate to find the exact thing that you're looking for. Because sometimes I feel the universe presents to you in ways that you wouldn't even imagine. So when you're open and you're present and you're open, the way that it will come to you is sometimes the most weirdest of ways. I'll give you an example, and I think I put this on the Facebook page, but I put a page up for my sign, and it was the cloud. And I don't very often do clouds, so that was quite, in itself, was quite weird, because I wanted to have something that was different in my life. And also it was a heart shape. And then I drove to the Blue Mountains. And on the way to the Blue Mountains, I became very aware of I was seemed to be just driving into a sea of clouds. I went, wow, this isn't good enough. No, I want something stronger. So then I looked over to my left, and I saw a cloud in the shape of a heart. And again, in typical me, went, yeah, that's okay, but I could be making this up. So I want something a little bit more, less subtle. And so, as I was sharing with you, when Embrace first started, I was an aromatherapist, and I'd walked out after doing my work at a nursing home, and there was not a cloud in the sky except for one formation, and I can't say anything other than it was in the shape of an archangel. It stopped me dead. And I just went, wow, there's something big that's about to happen. And as you know, 4 years later, we're still doing the Embrace Life festivals. So I went, okay, universe, I want another archangel moment like that. And so I kept on looking, and I couldn't see anything like that. So I thought to myself, maybe it's not the sign. Then I got to the Blue Mountains. I went to a meeting, got out of my car, came back to my car, and then the radio turned on. As I put the ignition in, the radio turned on to the song "Send Me an Angel." Send me an angel right now, And, not only is it a real boppy song that got my energy high, but the vibration of, oh my God, there's my sign. But it wasn't in the form that I had expected. I was expecting another cloud that I actually saw, but it came through a radio station with a song. So, sometimes when you're looking desperately for things, you may miss some of the clues. It's more about being open, being present, and knowing that the universe sometimes plays with us in lots of funny ways.
I think the universe is a lot more capable and more creative than we give credits to. Like, instead of just giving you a heart shape or angel shaped cloud that you there's like, let me blow you away with a song that it's not a mistake that it just came on. And I think that's one thing. And I think when we were chatting, we also talk about sometimes it's about a small sign. It's about those little things that, that if we can be grateful for and milk it, and then we will see the bigger sign, because I think it's really about getting to the ride, like getting to the flow of things. And then from a small sign, you start to see big signs. And it's a momentum of all these things manifest into your life, isn't it?
Totally agree with that, Sue-Wing. It's about acknowledgement. And I'll give you another example, because obviously I went up to the Blue Mountains, I put out there that I wanted royal blue and gold flowers. And as I was driving up to the mountains, I was looking again, being aware, and I was seeing how many combinations of royal blue and gold and yellow were in cars, were in signs, were in logos, were in petrol stations. And each time I saw it, yes, they weren't my flowers, but I kept on saying, I'm on the right path. I was acknowledging the combination. And then the following day when I came out of the Fairmont, which is where I stayed, there was this beautiful clusters of flowers, golden yellow and more purple than royal blue. But rather than dismissing it, I went, oh, well, I'm getting close, because here we are, we've got the flowers, got the yellow, and the purple is sort of royal blue. It's not exactly it, but I still stopped. I still acknowledged. And then I went past a day spa that I was very drawn to stop in to connect for the festival while I was up there. And lo and behold, as I walked in, which I put on the Facebook page, was actually this image of a royal blue and a golden yellow flower. And so I think when you're looking for creation is not to get caught up in it exactly, but also along the way when you're getting those things, those little acknowledgements, to always say to yourself, it's coming and I'm very close. So therefore your vibration is continuing to attract rather than actually pushing away saying I'm not getting what I expected.
And what I also noticed is that it's actually a great example linked to this. It's that, say, if because you were acknowledging, yes, it's happening, it really manifested big time at the end. But if very well somebody else can choose a different attitude and say this is not happening, I mean, who am I playing this game, and this is not going to work, you can actually go the other direction. Like, I think one of the things that when I was doing manifestation lists or games like this is that, say, some people say, oh, I really want a new job, and I would always tell people, think about what new job you want. Think about why you want it, because how it's going to make you feel. Focus on, yeah, that's going to be fun, more room for creativity, connect to the right people. You go that way. Other than focusing energy to say, well, because where I am is really suck, because this person is not nice, that thing is boring. You can really go either way to spend your energy and your time with. But if you set your mindset, it's in terms of the looking at what is possible, what's that you want, instead of what you don't like at the moment, and stop having momentum in that direction, I think you will find manifestation much faster into becoming what you want instead of what you don't want.
And you know, in wrapping that up, I suppose in both those examples, we are still creating.
Yes.
So we're actively creating either what we want or what we don't want. So I suppose for where we are now, for the people that are participating, we really want to thank everybody that has participated over the last week. The beautiful sort of story that was shared about the amethyst and the crow, the heart-shaped trees that were brought in, our beautiful interactions with people being happy and blissful as they woke up on the day. I believe we had a fantastic week and beautiful interaction. And then as part of the playbook, I want to really acknowledge Michelle's wonderful sort of colouring exercise, the games that the team put together, both you, Janine, and Michelle, and the energy that was behind it, and the last couple of pages that are still yet to be done now that we know that we are very much that actor and that creator of our own life. What do we want to actually put down into writing and an intention to bring into this year, which is obviously the writing exercise you've put together in the playbook for everybody at the end. Yeah. So for me, to our Gratitude Online group and our growing community, I wish everybody the best for 2016 and hope that they've enjoyed the games, but also really mindful that they can create the life that they deserve in this year.
Yeah, and just to add this tiny bit to the end that, don't take score too soon. Enjoy those exercising games. You can still, energy is still flowing, it's still happening. And so I think it's important to let the things brew, let it grow, let it happen, and just enjoy the ride. And I love this saying that there's no happy ending when you have an unhappy journey. So, that's your life. You choose to go the way you like it. And we are very blessed to have the opportunity to provide some tools and environment and get people to interact. It's very fun for me. I'm sure it's fun for you as well. And the more people share the great news and the happy stuff, it makes me feel good too. You feel like a bigger snowball,
Definitely. So that's it for our January experience, Siwing. Thank you. And
thank you.
And thanks for everyone actually joining us. And we'll be back next month with our next focus, which is our February focus of self-love and all things about Valentine's Day.
Love.
Take care.
All right. Thank you, everyone.